Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 27th, 2025, and we are witnessing the first major altcoin rotation for the cryptocurrency bull market of 2025, okay? Bitcoin on the smaller time frames has hit our target, okay? Yet and still, do expect altcoins to move in a major way from this point onwards, while Bitcoin stagnates where it's pretty much found resistance. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about today. If all that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get into it. Let's start with Bitcoin's chart on the 4-hourly time frame. So I've been talking about this for some time on the channel, saying, okay, I'm seeing Bitcoin being stuck in this range for a bit. And the way I'm seeing it just broken down is that, first and foremost, this area right here is 100 days of resistance, okay? You have 100 days of resistance that you've established given that Bitcoin was previously in this 100-day channel, okay? So that's the 100 days of resistance that you are at, because, the midline or the point of control of any channel represents resistance when you're below it, and we are currently below it, right? So that is the first thing. The second thing is, you can see from what happened on the 10th of October, the capitulative sort of drop in the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin went all the way from the top of the channel all the way down to the bottom. We've bounced once already at this point of control. We've bounced already to establish the fact that this was resistance. We've hit our head on it once. Expect for us to hit our head on it another time. This is resistance. Resistance is resistance until proven otherwise. And the way to break resistance is not at resistance, but from a lower point where you break it definitively and then retest it as support. Okay, that's a common principle. So the idea that we could kind of make our way through is true. It's possible, but it's improbable. It's improbable, especially given this scenario. So I don't expect Bitcoin to move too much from this area, okay? So the other way of looking at this is just using Elliott wave corrective patterns. And I've said before, many times, I'm seeing a pattern of nested flat corrections. And I feel like it's likely that we're in this yellow flat correction right here, and this yellow flat correction is a 3-wave move, and that middle move is a B wave, right? It's A, B, C, and we just finished it, right? It's an impulsive, right? Remember, every corrective pattern in existence is a flavor of 3 expression. Here you have A, initial break, B, the counter correction, C. This is a quintessential zigzag, A, B, C, right? This is what we would call in Elliott wave analysis a zigzag corrective pattern, an A, B, C zigzag. That last wave is always impulsive. That last leg of your corrective pattern is always pure impulse, and that's exactly what you got. And that's the end of the line. Typically, if you look up, in any Elliott wave manual, measure the C wave of a zigzag is very simple. You take the A wave, and right here would be the orthodox top of the A wave, retracement of the B wave, orthodox low of the B wave would be right here, and you should expect the C wave to come between 1 and 1, 2, 3, 6 Fibonacci extensions. I did not do this analysis before, just mind you, I'm doing this off the cuff like I do most of my analysis. I don't premeditate what I'm going to say necessarily. I have an idea or two in mind, and then I just roll with it. But here you can see very clearly that the C wave has hit its technical target. Not only are we at this resistance level of 116-ish, okay, the midline representing the midline of that 100-day channel, but also if you look at this as a zigzag, which it likely is, that C wave is exactly where we would expect it, between the 1 and 1, 2, 3, 6 Fibonacci extensions of, you know, the A wave retracement of the B wave. Okay, and this is the power of, you know, it's hard to time markets, and like I've said before, there's not much in the way of how to time a market when something's going to happen in Elliott wave analysis, barring, you know, if you have a pure Elliott wave 1, you can measure Elliott wave 2 in terms of time, more or less. Otherwise, there's no such thing as timing, and I said this before, like, if you can figure it out, and I don't know anyone who has personally, but if you can figure it out, supposedly and allegedly, Gann analysis, it offers insights into how to time the market more precisely. But I don't know that it's even possible. I think everything's possible, but I don't know who in the world has figured it out, and if they have, if they would even divulge that. Because, you know, you could even just imagine how priceless that kind of information would be. But Gann analysis is super arcane, super mysterious, super like just woo woo, right? Even reading his manuscripts, and if you're able to figure it out, you'd probably keep it to yourself and a small coterie of people, and just absolutely massacre the markets, given an understanding of when things are going to play out. But Elliott wave analysis gives us levels quite effectively. Just like you saw, 1, 2, 3, that's the level. That's it for Bitcoin. I understand people are very excited, and in their minds, it's always Bitcoin season. In their minds, Bitcoin always leads the charge. They're seeing potential in the rest of the market to move to the upside, and in their minds, Bitcoin also has to move, or else that doesn't happen. But that's not true in alt season. In alt season, it's the opposite. Bitcoin trends, or it suggests a direction, and then altcoins dominate the market. This is what we're in, and we should see, if I'm correct, we should see these big moves happen now. It typically is the case that Bitcoin reaches its intended target, consolidates at that target, then during that consolidation time, you see the big moves in the altcoin space. This is what I'm intending to see. This is what I hope to see. I'm not going to lie. But this is what I feel is likely going to happen, or is happening. So what's next for Bitcoin? It's quite clear. If we are indeed in this yellow flat correction, this is the next move. Down back to 103. Okay? And after that, we have a final move back up to this very same level before our big crash down to 90K. That's how I'm seeing it. So far, so good. I proffered this analysis maybe a week ago or something like that, and so far, so good. It's not so that every time you break something down and you see something, the market moves exactly how you envision it moving, but sometimes it is. All right, but what I have high degree of confidence in, the fact that this is an important level of resistance for Bitcoin. You can even see that on this liquidation heat map. Again, this is CoinGlass. This is a free tool. This is heat map liquidation data. I essentially take model number 2. I take Bitcoin's pair. I look at the 3-month chart, and I have this data here. The neon yellow, green levels are liquidity pools. This is where price is attracted to, and anything purple, blue is pretty much a desert of liquidity. there's really nothing for price to do there but just hang out and, from there move swiftly to those levels of liquidity. So right here, we're in a liquidity desert, and you can see quite clearly the October 10th move down to the bottom here. And then ever since then, we've pretty much been going sideways. And it's quite clear here how we've been going sideways. It's a consolidation, right? With a clear demarcated top right here, okay? Around 116, right? And that is where we're back. So, the idea of Bitcoin going through this liquidity desert and then reaching this level is possible but improbable, right? 126-ish, 135, 136. It's possible but improbable. More probable rather, is the move down back to the support levels. And again, remember, when you have a wick like this, price likes to fill wicks, and it fills it in 1, 2, 3 flavors of 3. Okay, so it's more likely from a technical vantage and just looking at the on-chain liquidity data that Bitcoin moved back down rather than up. Okay, now let's talk about altcoins, because this is really the story here. If Bitcoin's hit its target and it's likely to move down for its next move, altcoins have to move before that happens, or they will also move down. So it's either now or never. And from this chart right here, this Bitcoin dominance chart, it's likely now. Look at this. Okay, so as I've been saying, since October 10th, this mass liquidation event, we've gotten, you can see it on the daily time frame. You've gotten a retest of the midline of an 850-day channel. Big deal. BFD. And from there, you've been trending down. Okay? This is a trend down. Read it for what it is. Impulse down, intra-wave correction. Impulse down, intra-wave correction. What have I been saying? I've been saying that this is just an intra-wave correction. It's nothing more, nothing less. It is not something that is a reversal of trend. This trend is still in play. The downtrend is still in play. That's the really encouraging part for altcoins, because this right here, it's a triangle, which is likely indicative of some sort of wave 4, because you only get wave 4 according to Elliott wave analysis. You only get wave 4 you only get triangles in wave 4's position. So in some way, shape, or form, however you want to count this trend, there's a wave 4 of some degree here. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is, you can see very clearly that this triangle or ascending wedge has broken down. They tend to break down probabilistically, right? And I've been saying, okay, we've been chopping for 11 days, but just looking at the numbers for these types of patterns, they likely break down. And given the likely trend, or the larger trend that Bitcoin dominance is in, this is likely to break down. That's exactly what you're seeing. And now we can see even more closely how it's breaking down. It's breaking down exactly in the way we expect this kind of pattern to break down. So you go for 11 days, you chop up and to the right. Eventually, what do? You start from the top. Remember, even though it's a triangle, this is also a type of channel. So you go from the top of the channel to the bottom, you retest the midline, and then you lose the channel. After having lost the channel, what do? You retest the bottom of the channel, which was previous support, as resistance. These are principles that you see time and time again, right? This is 11 days of support. You lost that support here. Guess what? You had to see, or else it's not a legitimate break. And if you do in fact see that, then you can expect with a high degree of probability a continuation of that breakdown. So seeing that, really, it gives even more credence to the idea that this trend should continue. Okay? Again, midline retest, broken, retest of the previous support as resistance, done. Now you've fulfilled two very crucial requisite moves that you need to see in the breakdown of a channel, in the breakdown of a rising wedge. Now, the only thing that you have is the final loss of this larger pattern, which is also a kind of ascending wedge. It's not kind of, it's a definite ascending wedge of 34 days. So you can see right now we are at the support level of this 34-day ascending wedge. Do you see that? And that is it's interrupted by that wick to the midline. So this is a type of it's an extreme version of your head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern. Essentially, what you should see is a move down like this, and a move down, retest, and a continuation, right? Leaving that 34-day channel by breaking down, retesting, and then moving down. So that's like the minutia of what I would expect in the Bitcoin dominance chart. And my immediate target, it's not my final target, but my immediate target for Bitcoin dominance is going to be this pivot right here, right? And this, in a sense, is another rising wedge. And these rising wedges tend to target, their technical target is the base. So if you lose a rising wedge, technical target is the base. That's my first immediate target for the breakdown of Bitcoin dominance. I expect a bounce there and then a continuation. And so if you look at this larger move, if you zoom out for a second, you can see where I envision two major moves in the altcoin space, right? The first is this. This is where Bitcoin or altcoins dominate Bitcoin, firstly, by the loss of this 34-day channel. The second and more important one is this. After that small bounce at this pivot, then you get an even larger move down to this level of support. That is massive. That's going to be a very, very, very important move, a huge move in the altcoin space. And referring to what I discussed in yesterday's video, how the world was going to look at crypto differently, it starts with this move. Because in this move, you're going to see altcoins that are really high in market cap 5 to 10x, and that's going to start getting crypto on the news and crypto in in circles of discourse that don't typically talk about crypto. So this is what I'm seeing, and this is why I'm seeing it, guys. Last but not least, we can see all of this confirmed. Let me fix this really quickly. We can see all of this confirmed on the others chart. Okay, the others chart is a really good representation of what the tens of thousands of altcoins in the cryptocurrency space are doing, minus the top 10 in market cap. Okay, and what you can see here is a clear breakout. It's just in its infancy. This was October 10th liquidation event, and ever since, you're pretty much creating a W reversal. And so that is happening right now. You've already started that breakout. And so it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and it's in process. So you should already start seeing it in your watch list. You should already start seeing it in your portfolios. Guys, that's it for me. Take care. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. If so, like, share, and subscribe. Also, consider joining my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service that you can sign up to in the link at the pinned comment below, where I help you identify altcoins up to 5 that are going to usher in this new cryptocurrency bull market, because there are certain altcoins that won't at all take part in the steady and parabolic growth phase that you see in a cryptocurrency bull market. They won't. Not right now. They're going to have to wait a few years. There are others that will indeed do so, and there are even more, or not even more, but there are yet still others that are like one step away. And so we try to identify which ones are which, and we try to position ourselves in those assets that are going to move now to start the cryptocurrency bull run of 2025. And then also, once we do that, we then identify high probability levels of resistance and support, so we can really maximize our portfolio, so we can sell and then buy back, sell and buy back, sell and buy back, so on and so forth. Rinse and repeat, really maximize snowball profits. So that's crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation. If you're only interested in my take on one asset, and you don't mind a pre-recorded analysis, just make the payment, email me what you want me to look at. I'm going to do my best. Look at it high time frame, small time frame, whether it's viable or not, if it's one move away, if it's primed and ready, if it's probably not going to partake in this cryptocurrency bull run of 2025, 2026. All that I'm going to, just let you know, and I'm going to send that to you within 24 hours of your order. So that's it. Take care. Bye.
Prevalent time slot, I vocalize, too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later. Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin. Should I smile or should I